Welcome to the e-learning module of iOnboard, Candidate Portal, Onboarding Process. With the onboarding process, in the first and initial step, candidate receives a welcome mail on his or her registered email ID, with link to the candidate portal along with login credentials. Candidate needs to punch in the credentials, mentioned in the welcome mail here, and then click on Login to proceed further. Candidate will also receive an acknowledgement mail for the same on his registered email ID. Once the password has been changed, candidate can log into the candidate portal for Discover iOnboard once again. New hire can fill in the login details and click on Login to proceed further. This is the landing page for Candidate Portal. The left-hand panel gives a bird's-eye view of the status of your onboarding procedure. Click on Fill Joining Form tab to start with the onboarding procedure. Profile creation page is the first page of iOnboard portal, wherein records are pushed to iOnboard and all details that are available in candidate's resume are pre-populated from backend and are not editable. If candidate has any concern with respect to incorrect data uploaded from backend, then he or she can connect with recruiter or HR to get the correction done as per valid documents. The page only has 13 fields, out of which 5 are already pre-populated from backend and are not editable. Candidate can start filling out rest of the fields to proceed further. Once all the fields are filled in the page, candidate needs to upload his or her photograph by clicking on the photograph icon. It is advisable that candidate goes through the prerequisites of uploading a photograph as listed on the pop-up notification panel. For example, candidate needs to make sure that the format of the photograph can only be JPG or JPEG, and the size of the file should not be greater than 500 KB. Candidate can click on Browse tab to proceed further. Select the appropriate file that needs to be uploaded and click on Open to proceed further. Click on Upload to upload the photograph. Once all the fields are filled, candidate can click on Submit to proceed further to the next page. My Accomplishments is the second page of joining form, and consists of all HR assessment fields. Candidate needs to fill each field to proceed further with the onboarding process. Fill out the address details correctly and choose appropriate option from the radio button. Select appropriate option under passport subcategory to proceed further. Candidate now needs to update his or her PAN number, which is mandatory. Please double-check PAN number to avoid any rework in the future. Candidate now needs to upload UAN number, if the same has been allotted to them by their previous employer. Hence, by simple logic, the appropriate option for selection for fresher candidate will be no. However, experienced candidate needs to fill out UAN number. Candidate now needs to update his or her UAN number. Please double-check UAN number to avoid any rework in the future. Candidate now needs to fill out educational details to proceed further. One needs to make sure that educational details needs to be filled out in ascending order, that is, one has to start with the lowest full-time education attained. Candidate now needs to first select the appropriate option, and then proceed to fill out the employment details. One needs to make sure to provide correct information, since the same will be verified by background verification team. Under the next subcategory on this page, candidate now needs to update identity proof. Candidate can choose appropriate document option and proceed accordingly. Click on the highlighted hyperlink to upload the scanned copy of the said identity proof document. Click on Choose File to proceed further. Select the PDF file and click on Open to proceed ahead. Click on Upload to complete the procedure. System will prompt with notification on successful upload. Candidate now need to provide BGV consent, by e-signing the consent form. One need to click on the highlighted link to proceed with acknowledgement. Candidate should read through the entire consent form and provide all the relevant information and click on Submit tab to proceed further. This completes all the required fields on the second page of joining form. On successful completion of each field, candidate can now go ahead and click on Submit tab to proceed further. My nomination is the third and the last page of joining form. Candidate can start filling out the form to complete the onboarding procedure. The first category under the same is emergency contact details, wherein candidate can fill out the required fields. In next category, candidate needs to fill out Aadhaar details, which is mandatory. Please double check the details and update it carefully to avoid rework in future. Select the appropriate option to mention relation from the drop-down list. Along with the same, please update the date of birth as mentioned on Aadhaar card. Select the appropriate option for all questions asked in the next category to proceed further. Candidate now needs to update his family details. Lastly, new hire needs to update nominee and at least 3 reference details. In this next subcategory, candidate needs to update ESI details. Post mentioning the relevant details in all the field, candidate needs to upload supporting bank document in the highlighted link. Select the appropriate document option from the drop-down list. Click on the highlighted link to proceed further. Select the required file and click on Open to proceed further with the upload procedure. Lastly, candidate needs to click on Upload to complete the process. In this last subcategory of this My Nomination page of joining form, candidate needs to do a declaration under employment of relative policy. Once all the fields are filled, candidate can now click on Continue to proceed with the final submission of the joining form. The preview section has the holistic view for all the sections of the joining form. Candidate can check each section, if required, and then proceed further to provide consent to each of the listed policy and declaration by clicking on the highlighted link. Candidate is advised to thoroughly check on the details populated under User Consent Declaration, that is Aadhaar, UAN, Form 11, BGV consent, and lastly Relative Employment Policy, and click on Submit tab under each section. New hire now needs to provide CIFAS consent post reading the attached document. In similar context, candidate needs to read through data privacy policy and provide his or her consent to the same and proceed further. Once all the fields with respect to all the pages in the joining forms are filled, candidate can proceed further for final submission by clicking on Final Submit tab. This completes the entire steps which are involved in filling out the joining form for onboarding procedure. Once joining form is completed, candidate now needs to upload documents and provide witness details. In order to start with the process, new hire needs to click on Online Onboarding tab available on the candidate's portal landing page. Candidate can now fill in the witness details and upload the mentioned document to proceed further. New hire must update required witness details. The person provided in the witness details would receive email to e-sign on new hire's joining documents. Hence, please ensure the details are correct. Also, please note, entire joining docket will not be shared with your nominated witness, only required sections/forms, for example HCL&DA, Form F, that is gratuity form, and nomination form will be shared. In addition, new hire will be allowed to change the witness details till the digital signature process is concluded. Post updating the required information, candidate can click on Save button to proceed further. Post updating witness details, candidate can now proceed with document upload process. New hire can download and check the joining docket to ensure all details are correct. Also, please download the offer letter and compensation structure from the candidate portal and upload the same. Candidate can click on Choose File tab to upload required document. Choose the appropriate file and click on Open to proceed further. Once all the documents are uploaded, candidate needs to provide their consent to indemnity declaration by clicking in the checkbox. Candidate needs to provide consent to self-declaration as well before final submission. Post providing all the relevant information, candidate can now click on Submit button to complete the process. On successful document verification by recruiter and onboarding team, new hire will receive a mail on his or her registered personal mail ID to complete the e-sign process. Candidate needs to follow the steps as listed in the mail to complete the process. I hope this video was helpful. In case of any query, kindly connect with your recruiter or HR representative. Thank you.